welcome to another episode of PEEPSONALITY Live. I am going to be your crafting host for today. My name is Melody from Melody in the Making on Instagram. If you have crafted with me before, or if you caught my holiday episode, you know that peeps are my thing. I love them for every fun holiday. So today we're going to be making these adorable little peep cone centerpieces that would be perfect for any Easter brunch, spring brunch, or any spring fun event. And before we get started here, I'm going to kind of give a little bit of a breakdown of our materials while people are kind of still logging on. Hopefully the spring weather around you right now is actually spring weather. It was actually cold and overcast the past couple of days for us, but today thankfully the sun came out. So let me run down a few of our materials and then we'll hop right on into the craft. We have about 30 minutes to get this done, which is plenty of time because this craft is pretty easy to get done. As you can see, you kind of just need the cones, some glue, and then of course we need some kitchen shears. So these are going to be dual purpose. We're going to need them, of course, to open up our packages of peeps, and then you're also going to need them to be separating the peeps once you get to the higher points on our cone. For our craft cones, these ones I just ordered online. You can find them at any craft store. And they are just basically made of like thin cardboard. You can also try using the foam ones, though I have not tried those yet. So I do suggest the cardboard ones for the best outcome. You're going to need 2 of these and then a larger one. So just to give it a little bit of different levels. Okay, so if you are just hopping on, again, my name is Melody and you are joining us for another episode of PEEPSONALITY Live. We're going to be creating these fun centerpiece cones today, and we're just giving a rundown of our materials. So we have our cones, we have our kitchen shears, and then you're going to need lots and lots of hot glue, and then a pencil, and then of course our peeps. So I actually asked this when I posted this on my Instagram, how many peeps do you think it took to create these? And I want to see your guesses because I know a few of you did not get a chance to guess. So send me your guesses in the comments and we'll see who gets it correct. I'll reveal the answer at the end of the episode. So basically we're just going to be gluing these guys on, and there you have it. We're going to get started. I'm going to grab the small cone first. These cones, what I like about them is that they're hollow, so it's not like these end up being quite heavy. They do have a little bit of weight to them, of course, so they're not easily knocked down or anything if you do use them as a centerpiece. And there's 2 methods that you can use if you are gluing on your peeps. So the first method is the obvious one, is just to apply glue directly onto your peeps. I have done this, and thankfully the sugar coating kind of gives it a little bit of a barrier so the glue doesn't melt right through, because of course these are made of marshmallow. But the other method that you can do is by taking your pencil and grabbing a row, and I did not glue these on one by one because that would be just tedious, but you grab a whole row and you're basically going to be wrapping it around your cone, and then they'll kind of just break apart naturally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it on the base, and you're going to be starting on the bottom going up, and then you're basically going to take your pencil and you're going to mark the ends where the peeps start and end. You're going to move the peeps off, and then now you know where approximately where to put your hot glue. You're going to put the hot glue, and then you're just going to give it a few seconds to kind of cool down. That way it doesn't directly melt your peeps if you are worried about that. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my glue. And the best method that I kind of found was to kind of just apply the hot glue in like a zigzag or like a Z, just so you can cover as much space. Like I said, you're going to use quite a bit of glue for these guys to stay on the cone. So make sure you have lots of glue handy. Give that a few seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and apply our first layer. And what I'm doing is kind of just holding it here for a few seconds just to make sure it comes into contact with all the glue that I put on here, and so they stay nice and secure. I'm just going to press it just a few seconds. And just a little crafting tip, I always try to use craft paper to cover my surfaces, especially when working with Peeps, because I mean, it does get pretty messy as you can see. Hopefully you are crafting with me today. If you are not crafting with me today and plan on doing this at a later date, you can definitely watch this back. It's going to be posted on social channels for Peeps, so on YouTube, on Facebook, and then on Instagram. So you'll be able to watch it back if you missed a step, or if you were tuning in, you know, partway through. And it will also be available on the PEEPS brand website. Okay, so opening up another package of Peeps. Kind of interesting to see how many you actually use. At first, when I was trying to estimate how many, I totally guessed wrong. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys guess. Okay, so again, I'm kind of placing it on here, marking the end with my pencil. And don't worry, you're not really going to see the pencil marks. If you do see the pencil marks, you can obviously just erase them. And then I'll be adding my glue in a zigzag fashion. There we go. Lots of glue. And then again, you're not doing it one by one, you are doing it row by row. That way you're not spending your whole time cutting apart Peeps and putting them on one by one. And then you're just going to hold it for a few seconds so that way it sticks on there completely. There we go. Like I said, this would be such a fun little centerpiece idea, or even just a fun way to display Peeps in your home. There are tons of ideas out there. I saw one where it was, they used Peeps in the base of a vase. So then, and then they had flowers coming out. It was so pretty. I definitely want to try that one day. Okay, so we're getting to our little last section here. And what you want to do is kind of measure it out. You can see that obviously 3 Peeps are going to fit and not 4. So that's when you're going to go ahead and trim it. And I already have a set of 3 here ready for me to glue on. So for this one, obviously you're not going to use a pencil because you're just going to put glue on the remaining portion. So let me know if you have any questions, and I won't be able to answer them right away just because I don't have anyone here with me today kind of helping me along with that. But I will try to get to your questions, or you can find me at Melody in the Making on Instagram. Shoot me a DM. Let me know. I'm going to press those on. And then I already have to reload my glue gun because I'm already out. Okay, and we are done with our first layer. Okay, so one thing that you could do to kind of switch it up if you don't want to do the kind of color block one of each cone is that you can switch to a different color and have different color layer Peeps. I think that would look really cute. Or if you want, you can do like 2 layers of one color, 2 layers of another color. For the smaller cones, there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, and then 1 on the top. So just kind of keep that in mind. Depending on the size of your cones, you're going to want to plan ahead for that. Okay, so same exact technique you're going to be using for the next layer. You're going to be wrapping it around, kind of measuring it out with your pencil, and then the cool thing about this craft is as you continue doing it, it's like less and less work because each layer you're just using less Peeps. So it goes by pretty quickly. Okay, so adding my glue in a zigzag motion. And I honestly, it's not Easter without Peeps for me or in this household. Growing up, I remember finding them in my Easter basket, and it's just like such a fond memory that now, like springtime and Easter, like I cannot picture it without Peeps around. Whether it's like the little chicks or these cute little bunnies, I just kind of always have to have them around. Last year, my daughter and I made some Peeps Play-Doh, which was super fun. I know that recipe is available on the Peeps website if you're interested in that. And then I also made a Peeps inspired garland, which is also fun. Basically Peeps all around, right? They come in so many fun colors and shapes. Right, so let me digress for a second. For this second layer on the smaller cone, this actually only takes 2 rows or 8 peeps before it kind of switches out. You can actually squeeze maybe one more in there actually. So let's do that. Let's squeeze one more in there. So correction, 9 peeps, but that's pretty simple. Okay, so hot glue in a zigzag fashion. And we're gonna press these guys on. And if you notice that, you know, later on the peeps are kind of not as secure as you'd like, you can always go back and add more glue, press it on some more. I'm gonna hold it on there for a few seconds, make sure it's nice and secure. And this is actually even something kids can help with. Of course, they're not gonna be handling the glue gun. So if you do have your kids helping with that, make sure an adult is there to help with the scissors and the glue, but they can definitely, you know, help pick out the patterns. They can help maybe even press on the peeps. Okay, so I'm gonna cut just one little peep guy over here. I'm trying to make sure his edges are nice. And I actually have a little hack for the little white parts that end up showing, which honestly I think it looks perfectly cute without worrying about that. But if you worry about having that white marshmallow part show, then I do have a little hack for you guys coming up in a few minutes. Okay, so pressing it on, and we're basically done with our other layer. Another cool thing is that you can actually make these ahead of time. So say you have an event coming up and you want to make these ahead of time, go ahead and make them. And there's 2 different ways you can store them. So if you want to make them ahead, you can store them in one of those large storage bins. They'll fit right inside, put the top on the cover, and these will totally make it to your event. And then they'll definitely last until then. And then the other way that you can store them, which is what I did, oh, I forgot to mark it. The other way you can store them is in a trash bag. So I did that because I did not have any storage bins on hand when I first made my peeps over here, my peep cones. But basically you're gonna store them on a flat surface, and then you're gonna put the trash bag around them, kind of wrapping them up. The only thing with that is that if you do plan on storing them that way, the peeps cones, make sure that you don't add the top bunny just yet. So you're gonna wait until the day of your event to add that top bunny, just because, or that top peep, because they'll end up falling off. So if you wrap it up, the top of the trash can, or the top of the garbage bag will probably knock those top ones off. So again, if you're gonna store it that way, make sure you add those peeps right before your event. All right, so we are actually almost done with this first one. Opening up another layer of peeps. And honestly, peeps is just like a fun way to celebrate the season. All the bright colors. I think besides Christmas, spring has to be one of my favorite seasons, just because if you know me, I am a huge lover of just fun, bright colors, probably as you can see behind me. So Peeps always fits the bill, and what's exciting is that they came out with so many new flavors this year that I like literally still have to try them all. So I just got the wild berry flavored one, which is so good. I will vouch for them right now. They're probably my favorite Peeps flavor. And lucky for you, Emily from the Hutch Oven is actually going to be showing you guys in the next Peepsonality episode a special, I think it's like a cookie cake, which sounds so good. So definitely tune into that. It's going to be next week, same time, same day, so Tuesday. And she'll be showing you guys how to work with, I actually have it right here, these wild berry Peeps. I'm so excited. So good. And then they also came out with a flavor partnering with the original donut shop. So if you are a coffee drinker, you could have a Peep with your coffee. How fun would that be for just like a little afternoon pick-me-up? Have a little coffee, have a little iced coffee, have a little peep. So good. Okay. So this last layer here is going to take, at least for this size cone, is going to be just 4 peeps, one layer of peeps. So we're going to put glue all the way around it. And then, so make sure you want to load up your glue gun for that, because you don't want to run out halfway through. And I'm doing my zigzag here. And I'll show you guys how I put on the top one. Okay, so wrap it around, and there you go. And since this one, the cone is a little bit narrow at the top, you're gonna want to kind of press that in pretty well, just because it's a little bit trickier to stick on there. I'm gonna hold that there for a few seconds. Okay, and if you're just joining us today, this is an episode of PEEPSONALITY Live. We're making these fun little centerpieces, and if you missed out on part of this craft, how to get started, the directions, the materials, everything you need is going to be available on the PEEPS Brand website, as well as Instagram, their Facebook, their YouTube. So make sure you head on over there so that you guys can do this later. Okay. All right, so here we go. And then looking good. And then we're going to add our very last little peep here. And I like to pick like the very best one, because you guys, you know, we need to have the best of the best. Let me grab this one. He's a little cutie. So with this last guy, you want to try to have a pretty good looking one, just because, you know, he's going to be the first peep up there. And then you're just going to add glue all the way around at the very tip of your craft cone. So all the way around. There we go. And then stick them right on there, and then hold them. So easy, you guys. It's like easy, but it makes such a big impact, right? Like people see them and they're like, whoa, that's awesome. All right, so hold this guy here. This one you kind of have to hold on a little bit longer, because you're basically piercing the bottom of this peep with the top of the cone. So all that extra sugar on your hands, a little hack here, you can kind of press it into those exposed marshmallow parts. Kind of covers them up a little bit. The other way you can do it is, there's actually 2 different ways. So one way is to press the sugar, right, the excess sugar. There's usually like sprinkles left over on the side here, or inside the packaging, that you can kind of use to press into there. And these are little cones, so cute. Okay, and then the other way to hide that little white marshmallow part is to use a little bit of sprinkling sugar. So you can just pour some onto a plate and then like dip it on there, covers it right up. And then another way that I actually just thought of right now is, if you have like edible markers, you can try kind of like painting it on. That one's a little bit tricky because it might be a little bit hard to color match, but you know, give it a try and let me know how it goes. Okay, so this guy is done. I'm gonna put him right here. And then we're gonna try to do a little bit of our large cone right here. So this guy is a little bit taller. Obviously, you're gonna use a lot more peeps for that. So one little hack, if you're doing this craft, is that if you have your packages open already and all your peeps ready to go, it just makes it go by so much faster. So I have a little trash, oh, that's another tip, is have a little trash can ready, because you're definitely gonna have packages of peeps, the wrapping just flying by. Okay, so again, you're gonna grab a row. You're gonna take your pencil. It has all this glue on it. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna take your pencil and kind of wrap it around. You're going to mark the end and then mark the other end, and then that's how you know where to put your glue. Okay. So putting your glue. Let's see. Easter. Easter is honestly such a fun holiday, you know, for families. Easter, springtime, especially if your family doesn't celebrate Easter. Spring is just, honestly, it's like a breath of fresh air, right? After being inside all winter, the sun comes out, everything grows. I just love, 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 love this time of year. Okay, so again, you want to press that guy on there just to keep him nice and secure. There we go. Okay. And again, this is going to be a messy craft, so just be prepared for that if you want to do this. If you're looking for even more fun DIYs, definitely go check out the PEEPS brand website. They have literally like every craft and treat imaginable. I think one of the first PEEPSONALITY episodes of this season had like this delicious coffee cake with like the coffee peeps. Oh my gosh, sounds so good. I actually caught a little glimpse of it last night and I was like, I need to grab some more because now I want to make this coffee cake. So if you're into baking or if you're into crafting, there's kind of something there for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to glue this guy on and then press him down. As you can see, this is simple craft, but again, pretty big impact, a lot of fun. For tablescapes, one of my kind of tips for doing an Easter tablescape is I love having like a big kind of eye-catching thing in the middle, whether it be like these PEEPS cones or even, you know, a big bouquet of flowers. I saw one where they had a bouquet of flowers and they had PEEPS on like skewers kind of sticking out, and I thought that was really cute. You can even dress up the skewers to make them look like stems. Add some felt flowers. There's like so many possibilities. Okay, so pressing this guy on. So far I've used 3 rows of PEEPS. So a row of PEEPS consists of 4 PEEPS. So on this bottom of the big cone, I used 3 rows of PEEPS. And then there's one spot back here for just one more. I'm gonna go ahead and open another package. Another little side effect about this craft is that if you end up opening a package and you only use 1 PEEP, that just means that you get a snack on the rest of them. All right, so I'm gonna cut using my kitchen shears. And honestly, kitchen shears are like one of my favorite tools because I feel like I use them. I don't even use knives anymore in my kitchen. I'm just like, shears, sure. It's just like way easier that way. And with a toddler, you know, always cutting up their food. Right, so adding glue and then adding on my last little PEEP. Almost looks like a little party hat. Okay, so there we go. If you do try this craft, make sure that you tag PEEPS brand because we want to see them. We want to see these fun little creations. I want to see if you guys end up trying this. I want to see if you guys use it with the chicks because that would be really cute too. If you used it with the original chick shape, that would be sweet. And then also if you try to do different color schemes, that would be cute. Yeah, make sure you tag me too. Melody in the making. All right, so bottom layer, I used 3 plus 1. So 3 rows plus 1 little lone one. And then we're just gonna keep on going. So again, you're going to mark it with your pencil. And then just some glue, like a zigzag. Again, lots and lots of hot glue for these guys because you don't want them coming off. I'm trying to do it this way so you guys can see it. There you go. I'm gonna press it on there just for a few seconds. Okay. And if you were just kind of joining us, we're coming to an end here. I have about 5 minutes left with you guys. So if you are joining us right now, make sure that you have your notifications on so you guys don't miss the next episode of PEEPSONALITY Live, which is going to be the same time next week. That is 3:30 PST, or that's going to be 6:30 if you are on the East Coast. Next week's episode you definitely do not want to miss. We're going to be using the new wild berry flavor, which again is my favorite currently. So definitely check that out. If you want to see past episodes, you can also log on to the PEEPS Brand website. You can find episodes there. And then also on the Instagram page, they have past episodes posted there as well, dating back to, back to even my first PEEPSONALITY Live, which was back in December. Grab, there you go. Oh, we definitely forgot to mark that, but that's okay. We'll add glue as we go. So make sure to check that out. There are tons of crafts, tons of different recipes. I'm sure you guys can come up with your very own recipes and crafts. Let's see. I've seen even this season, like PEEPS charcuterie boards. Oh my gosh, those look so much fun. I actually might have to try one myself, honestly. Oh, pressing this guy on. Right, and then I'm going to show you really quickly before I kind of sign off here. There you go. The sprinkling sugar. So if you have a little PEEP, let me cut it open for you guys. If you guys have a PEEP that has an edge and it's kind of exposed. So for example, I'm going to cut this PEEP so it'll be nice and ready for the top. But if you have the exposed marshmallow, honestly, again, it doesn't bother me. So I like the way that it looks just like this. But if it does end up kind of bothering you, you can take some onto a plate, put some matching sprinkling sugar, and it kind of covers them up. So that one I will use for the top of my cone. All right, guys, so that pretty much wraps up this episode of PEEPSONALITY Live. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, I'm Melody from Melody in the Making on Instagram. Come find me, come say hello. And if you missed this episode, again, it's going to be posted. Make sure you check it out and make sure you have your alarm set for the next episode of PEEPSONALITY Live, which is going to be next week. And then, of course, last but not least, please tag us. Tag PEEPS Brand. Let's see your beautiful creations. Maybe they will feature you on the Instagram, share you in a story, because we want to see how PEEPS kind of brings your family together. All right, so that kind of wraps it up for me today. I'm going to continue this later on, but thank you so much for joining in, and I will see you guys next time.